Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you've been well. Ash and I are going camping. I still have the Gladiator for one more weekend and I haven't actually taken it camping. So I gotta squeeze that in this weekend even though the weather's not gonna be great. But another thing, if you're not subscribed to Ashley's channel, you might not know, but we got a new puppy, so she was a rescue. They told us, well, they never really know, but they thought she was an Australian Shepherd mix. Turns out I got a DNA test and she is like 20 different breeds. She's like Chow, Rottweiler, bunch of random stuff, and she's got like 2% Australian Shepherd, so they weren't totally wrong. The Trey's been getting along with her pretty well, and Ashley's been loving her, so she's small. We'll see how big she gets. Hopefully not too big, because I really didn't want another dog necessarily, but Ashley really did. But the compromise was that it was a small one because we already got our large boy over there. And Ashley loves Maple, so she's happy. And yeah, so kind of breaking in this rig. This is the first time Maple's gone camping, so we'll see how she does. She does get a little car sick, so we gave her a little Dramamine. And I bought this like hammock that's kind of, I got this one specifically because the sides come up. You can kind of bring the sides up, so it kind of encloses them all the way to kind of hopefully keep my dogs off of these a little bit, since this vehicle isn't mine and I don't want to hurt it too much. Watch your face. So yeah, if you missed it, this is a Gladiator from RMT that they let me borrow to test out for a while. So we're gonna take it out. Unfortunately, it's November now, which means we have hardly any daylight. So we're actually probably gonna be hitting the trail, getting to the trail in the dark. But it's kind of a nearby one that I've done a handful of times. So hopefully we find a spot available, but we'll see how much filming we actually get in. And so here's some stuff I just threw in the back. This is that little Moby Cool that I'm gonna test out, and I just kind of bungeed in with this Biller, perfect bungee, and we'll see how it all goes. I grabbed some tools just in case, but yeah. It's been a long week, and we had a lot to do today, so it's gonna be dark, looks like, before we actually get to the trailhead, so I'm not sure how much footage we'll get, but I'll try to record as much as possible. I grabbed a Red Bull. These peach ones, if you haven't tried them, the peach ones are my jam. The thing about driving a Jeep, there's so many Jeeps in Colorado that I'm having to do peace signs like every 5 seconds for all the Jeeps that drive by. Well, it's a good thing I got that dog thing I was talking about, because she did puke. Poor pup. So if you guys have any tips, I hear it's something that a lot of times they grow out of, but Atreyu never had car sickness. All right, so we got throw up round 2. Ashley has been getting most of it, but this time it was right in the middle. Atreyu peaced out. He was like, "Get me out of here!" So sorry for those with weak stomachs. I didn't realize this was the puke episode. All right, Trey. We got puke number 3. Watch out. Close your eyes if you're sensitive. Atreyu is like deathly afraid of it. He's like clawing his way out of the back seat with her. Oh, don't eat it. Don't eat it. So this is the third. So this is her third massive puke.
Dramamine did not work.
The night. The Dramamine apparently had no effect. So we knew that Maple got car sick, but it's never been too bad, and we've never tried Dramamine. So we tried it this time, and it, I don't know, didn't really seem to work. This is her first time off-road, and we've been taking it really slow, and this is really like the nearest trail to my house, and I'm gonna try and find the closest, nearest camp spot on the trail. But you know, we want her to be able to off-road, so we don't know if it's one of those things where, you know, she'll get used to it after a while or hopefully grow out of it. But tonight has been a massive failure, I would say.
Maple.
So we're just gonna pull over at the first spot we find, which is, I think we're coming up on one soon. Unfortunately, the first camp spot someone was already at. So I think there's another one up here soon that hopefully will be open, and yeah. But if we don't find one before too long, I don't know. We may just head back, or Maple may be out of puke now. So hopefully we find something. All right, so not much further down the trail, we found probably our worst camping spot of 2020. It's like right off the trail, super uneven, but we didn't want another puke episode. So with a rooftop tent, even if the ground is super uneven, you can usually get, like, there wouldn't be a good spot to ground tent here because you'd be completely crooked. So one of the advantages of a rooftop tent, which you can't see because it's pitch black out here, is that with some rocks, can you see some rocks that you stack under the tires? You can kind of still get level. The only problem is, depending on if you back in or forward in or what side you need to get level, if you have to raise the backside a lot, it raises the tailgate up. So this is already a pretty tall vehicle, Gladiator lifted on 37. So poor Ashley, if she's cooking tonight, I don't know who's cooking, we'll see, is like up to her neck. So she'll be cooking high, unless we wanted to like do it on the cooler or something. So we're here now that we're not moving. Maple's good to go. Trey's feeling good that he's out of the puke mobile. But this little thing did a good job of containing everything. So we'll have to give this a nice clean later. But at least it didn't get all over the Jeep that isn't mine. So that's nice. Unfortunately, this tent is super high in the air, and now I gotta set up the tent. And it's one of these kinds with the canvas topper, and you gotta unbuckle 15 buckles and unzip 400 miles of zipper, so kind of lame. But the tent inside's pretty nice. I've already opened it up earlier, so that should be good. And it's winter, so it's dark so early, but it's only 6 p.m. so it's not too late, honestly. So I just have a few lanterns that I put up here, and we got a couple of them around for some light. I brought this is that cheap little cooler, electric cooler fridge that I was talking about in a video before. This is only like $300 or something. I'll link to it. It's for sale on Amazon. And while, you know, the Domestics and stuff I usually use are significantly nicer and more durable than this, a lot of people can't swallow that price tag. So I decided to test out a cheaper option, and haven't used it a ton, but this one is all right so far. I actually have a battery I gotta plug it into. It's in the back seat that I'll grab. But yeah, I think we'll just kind of settle in, relax, calm down from all the puke that's been happening, and start cooking maybe.
Front door.
Who's at our front door? I don't know. Check it out. So Ashley pre-packaged, pre-made dinner and just put it in a little leftover container. These are actually, so we had like 400,000 different, what's up, Brad? Doing a little holster exchange at my house. So These are the best. If you're looking for just the best leftover containers, we had like 400 random leftover containers at our house. And I was just like, frick this, let's just get like great matching sets. And this is what we landed on. So anyways, what do we got?
So we have some barbacoa with the yummy sauce in there, and some bell peppers and onions, and we're gonna make some tacos.
Tacos. So tacos are kind of our go-to camping food, honestly. We don't feel like it's too unhealthy. And Maple just got out of her little leash spot. She's going to follow Atreyu. Atreyu we usually just let kind of roam. He's pretty good at not going too far, but since Maple's just gonna follow him, we're kind of trying to keep her on a leash, so we may go grab her real quick.
Doesn't matter.
So the advantage of having it all here is you don't have a bunch of packages and different stuff. It's just all in one little self-contained thing. And there's no prep, no mess, just get that and drop it in the pan. So we won't have any sexy B-roll of food prep though. But that's sexy enough right there, isn't it? Oh
Better not put that
yeah.
in the video. I'm serious.
Yeah, disregard that.
Might have made too much. Yep, I made too much.
The thing that we've grown accustomed to is Atreyu being a light colored dog. When he's out roaming around, we can still see him pretty good. But Maple is like really blends into the night. So we need to get her a small size LED kind of light up collar while she's out. She's super skittish right now, which unfortunately has kind of been this is kind of the third rescue dog I've had, and Ashley's had quite a few, but seems like a lot of times they're a little on the skittish side. So hopefully she mans up at some point and isn't so afraid. Like Atreyu will just go fight grizzly bears and Maple will run from a mouse. Update on Maple tracking. Ashley tightened her headlamp and put it on red mode, and now we can see where Maple is. So Maple annihilates her food way too fast. We got one of these like slow eater bowls. The Gladiator has a lot of nice lights like these ones in the back, and there's one on this side as well. But what I keep in all of my other cars is those little battery jump starters, which honestly, pro tip, are pretty crucial when out by yourself like I am a lot of times, because if you use auxiliary lights or light gets left on or something's charging and you kind of forgot about it and you kill your battery, you're kind of stranded. So I always, except for right now in a car that's not mine, keep little battery jump starters in all my vehicles, but I don't have one in here. So I really want to figure out how to turn all these lights off so I don't accidentally drain the battery and I'm stranded. But being that I'm not too familiar with the Jeep, I can't find it in all of the places where I would normally think it would be. Found them over here for anyone that has a Jeep and is maybe curious. Just flip that down. Okay, this has been done for a bit, so I should just put it back here while she heated up the tortillas. But there it is. Sorry, kind of a little out of it tonight. Been a long week for me. And a fun, interesting day going on today. A lot of people send me hot sauce to my P.O. box, which is on my website if you're ever wondering. But this was one that was sent. So thank you to this. It is KWC Vermilion, and I really, honestly, really like it. So if you ever have the opportunity to check it out, check it out. So the drink I have, you know, I drink a lot of sours. So this is a pineapple sour from Lone Tree Brewing, Colorado brewery, Lone Tree, Colorado. So it's pretty delish. What do you got? So Ashley's drinking a Wild Basin, which is from Oscar Blues, which is another Colorado brewery actually. And she says, so Ashley likes these seltzers. They're like, I'm not a fan of them. They're like too flavorless for me. But of the seltzers, these are Ashley's favorite.
Have you tried this one?
Update. I just tried it, and yeah, it's my favorite of the seltzers as well. Still might not be what I reached for first, but not bad. Round 2. A little bit of fresh lime on there. It's delicious. So we're talking, Ashley's been putting stories up on her Instagram, which if you don't follow Ashley and want to see more behind the scenes of our dog and chickens and stuff, I'll put her Instagram right here if I remember. But right after Maple puked for the third time and we thought it was done, she started ripping farts in the car. And so we got to enjoy that for the rest of the drive as well. So it's been a nice night. So here's the Moby Cool. If you're new here on the channel, I talk a lot about gear that I actually use, you know, kind of show it in use. So this is the interior. Pretty good space in here. The compressor is actually like up high, up here. So it kind of goes and has more space underneath there. And I need to plug it in. So I test out all kinds of these different batteries. And I didn't know how cold it was gonna get tonight. So this one is a big, and I'll get it out here in a second. This is a Blue Eddy Max Soak. This is a big beast of one. Kind of like the form factor of this. It's kind of like a briefcase. But this is the biggest one I have. This is 2,400 watt hours, I believe. So this will run a fridge for a long time. But what we brought, and I'll show you in a sec, is an electric heated blanket, which is we keep in this waterproof bag. And again, I'll link to a bunch of this stuff in the video description, but it'll run the electric blanket, runs the fridge, and yeah, she's good at standing on her back legs.
There.
Look at that, she's like from a circus. So for lanterns right now, this is a Bluetooth speaker lantern that I like a lot. But they kind of quit selling it, but if it's back in stock, I'll link to it. It's nice because it has a hook and a magnet, and it's a Bluetooth speaker, and it's pretty cool. This is another one, a Claymore, which is a big beast of a light. Also has a hook, and I put like a magnet on the back of it. And these ones are pretty cool too. These are the Goal Zero crush lanterns. So they, as the name implies, crush down to flat for storage. And these are the chroma ones, so they have RGB lights, and then I don't know if you can tell, but they have solar panels on the top. So you can charge them with USB or with the solar panel. They have like a, I don't know if you can tell because I just have it on auto exposure. This is like flickering candle mode, double click to kind of go through the settings. And so they have a bunch of different colors, and they kind of have like a cycle through colors mode. So kind of like a pretty cool featured lantern. And then just has this little part, but this thing can pop off. Sorry, I'm trying to do this all one-handed. So that can pop off. So then you can kind of loop it around a string or whatever if you want. And a quick PSA, like I try to do a lot, is there's been fires going crazy. Don't have fires when there's a fire ban, because there's a fire ban for a reason. Because some other idiot started burning down the forest already. So stick to fire bans if you enjoy the outdoors and just suck it up and don't have a fire when you're not supposed to. And also, you know my expression of trash leaves trash. So pick up trash, pick up your own trash, obviously, and then go above and beyond and pick up other people's trash. Because the more trash is out, the more places get shut down, and the trashy people will see trash and think they can leave more trash, and then it just kind of spirals out of control. So pick up your trash and take a shot every time I say trash. Not really, but if you're exceptionally trashy and you're just like, oh, there's no way I'm gonna be able to pick up my trash, dude, then at least like don't bring glass. If you're gonna bring glass, you're probably gonna break it. There's other shards of glass like all over. Ashley usually goes ham on picking up glass, but there's some out here, and reason for that's pretty obvious. Like dogs will cut their feet, and glass is still trash even though it's clear. Believe it or not. If you're wondering, got my Crocs on, camp mode. These are some Danners. A lot of people ask about these boots. These are the Danner Jags. I like them. They're kind of a little more of a casual boot, but waterproof and stuff like that. So yeah, it's not too cold yet. I think the forecast says it's supposed to rain tonight, so we'll see if that actually happens or not. Pelican case use number 5832 makes a nice little step for Ashley to stand on for cooking. Here's the Blue Eddy 2400 that I was talking about earlier. So form factor is kind of cool and different from some of the other ones, but it's a beast. It's huge, 2400 watt hours, and I believe has a 1000 watt inverter. So it has some DC plugs and USB on this side, and then the AC on that side. And then the MobiCool we've been using as a step 2. It comes with a and they sent this out to me. I always got to remember to kind of say that stuff, but I mean they sent that, everything gets sent to me. I test products all the time, so but if I don't like it, I don't use it. So even though there's some bias in there, something probably, I'm sure, if I don't like a product, I just don't show it. But the MobiCool comes with AC plug, so you can plug it into your standard house outlet, as well as a DC cigarette lighter plug, which is how I have it plugged in here. If you're using one of these battery things, if you don't have to turn on the inverter, that's better, because inverter being on usually will use a little bit of energy. And then once it's actually running to power stuff, it uses more energy. So as often as possible, if you can run a DC product on a DC outlet, that'll be the most efficient use of your battery. Looking good with your jacket, Mapes. Ashley's all bundled up. But we're all done eating, just kind of drinking a beer, relaxing. And we'll probably do what we do a lot of times and just pop on a little movie. Ashley and I don't watch a whole lot of movies at home, just like sit down on the couch and watch stuff, because we're always doing something. So watching movies is actually kind of a special time for us when we're out camping, especially in the winter and it gets dark and cold. So we'll probably do that here in a sec. Whew. Good morning. It was windy last night, and it rained a bit, and I think it snowed a tiny little bit. Not a whole lot, just a tiny little dusting. Just got a jacket on, and I got the car running to heat up a little bit. The handles were frozen. These Jeep handles, thawing out a little bit now, but water was here, so you had to kind of yank them open. But it's really windy, and we may just pack up and head out, since this campsite isn't particularly beautiful and the wind is kind of miserable to be in. So we'll see. I think we'll at least start packing up the tent and stuff and decide if we want to make a little quick breakfast or not. Ashley's making some tea some drink called London Fog that she likes. I like it too. It's like a Earl Grey black tea with milk, basically. So we were thinking about packing it up, but the wind has died down a little bit, so I think we'll be able to cook. Plus, this tent, I think, is gonna take a long time to put away, unfortunately, because there's a lot of buckles and this and that. So, a little wet. So, unfortunately, having a tent that's more of a pain to take out and put away means that when you dry it out at home, you gotta do the whole process again, which is kind of a bummer. We pulled off the rock so the tailgate would be a little lower for Ashley, so she'll make that tea and then she'll make some breakfast, and I'll show you a little bit about that once it starts getting going. A little bit of vanilla, a little bit of honey, and then froth in the milk. Ashley's prepared some
potatoes, onions, peppers.
So some diced potatoes, onions, peppers. The potatoes are uncooked, so we'll let those cook up a little bit. And then brought some eggs from home, which Ashley will be excited to show you. So for those that don't know or may be new here, we have chickens, some backyard chickens that have been laying, I guess, probably around, what, 2 months? Yeah. Two or 3 months, I think they started laying. So Ashley always likes the eggs because we have all these different colors of them. So brought a few eggs from home, and she'll add those to the breakfast in a sec.
I'm just adding the leftover dinner from last night into the pan. These are my favorite eggs. They're from one of the Green Queens.
Just a boring blue egg, she says. So she had things pre-seasoned, which is what we usually do, but I have this thing of multi-spices. So it's got a bunch of pretty common spices, and yeah, I'll link to that if you're interested. So Ash has been making breakfast, thank you, while I've been putting the tent back away. And whoo, I do not miss zipping up covers when it's like 20 degrees or lower out. Fingers freeze right up. But got this thing just about all put away. And then we got to put on 8 buckles, which I'm not still really sure why there are so many buckles on the outside of this tent. Cheers. Yeah. Cheers again.
Cheers again.
Sorry, I just ran back up to get my camera. So despite the late start last night and the triple puke on the drive over and the fart explosions and not finding a great camp spot and it being super cold, windy, rainy, a little bit of snow, it was still a great time. Ashley really didn't want to go camping, but she sucked it up and went anyway.
I'm glad we did.
And that's a pretty common theme. A lot of times we don't really want to go camping because the weather's gonna suck, or we got too much to do, or we're getting a late start, or we gotta come back early. We'll usually still just go. And there's yet to be a time that we regret it. So, if I could say anything, it's just suck it up and go. And you'll rarely regret it. So Maple actually, other than being a little cold, because she's pretty young, and getting car sick, we think she's really been enjoying her time out camping with us. And Atreyu always has a good time, so he actually doesn't want to go back into the puke car. But here we are. even in a camp spot that's not necessarily what I would have preferred, it's still super beautiful.
You can't catch Maple.
Maple, Pat. All right, so Maple's not doing so hot, so we are just trying to take frequent stops. And Trey's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? But yeah, she starts going full drool mode, just water dripping out of her mouth, and we know that's when she's about to hurl, so. Okay, well, we are just about off the trail and we got another round of Maple puke. So we're gonna need to figure something out for this. If you guys have any tips or tricks for puke doggy, we did ask the vet and all they really said was could try some Dramamine and they might grow out of it. But since I'm sure a lot of you have dogs, maybe some of you have experienced car sickness in dogs, so if so, let me know down below. Well, we're home. Maple puked again, but now she's doing better that she's out of the car. And it was definitely windy last night. I didn't realize how windy it was, but our greenhouse blew away, so that's cool. Looks like it's broken. So here's our chickens. Yeah, nice, very cool. All right, it is crazy windy, so we'll see how this audio is coming through, but I have this out, airing out, so it rained and snowed a tiny little bit on this thing, so it was really wet on the outside. I've taken this off-road a little bit, but man, this suspension on here, the Fox, rides so nice. Now I turned down the softness while we were off-road to make it ride nice, but I didn't even air down or anything, and the ride on this was just, it was heavenly. So really like this rig. Again, the only thing I personally would probably want to change out is just, I'm gonna do a video on tents. So comparing this to like my iCamper to the GFC, basically the different kinds of tents. And I just really don't like these canvas top unzipped tents. They're not good in the wind. It was super loud last night in the wind, and they're just a pain. So really the only immediate things I would swap or just decide to not get is the tent. And again, that tent, totally good for that style of tent, but I don't prefer that style of tent. And then I would just angle these, whoop, about 45 degrees off to the side. But man, everything else on this RMT build, super sick. So if you kind of missed my walk around video of the RMT Gladiator, it's basically, you can buy this truck just exactly like you see it, off the dealership lot. So for more information on that, just go to rmtoverland.com and you can get the details. But yeah, they make it from Jeeps, Fords, GMCs, Rams. But yeah, really stoked on this. All right, so that's it, guys. I got about a million other things I gotta try and knock out on this short day while I have a little bit of sunlight. So I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, sorry, this one was kind of random, but they all kind of are. But leave a comment down below if you have any tips on dogs puking, car sickness, stuff like that. And then yeah, just comment down below with what you liked or what you want to see in the future. And I'll get to them. But yeah. Oh, I just got this, Magpul just released some new beanies. These are the nice lined beanies, just my favorite fitting and style with the Magpul sunglasses. And this is a cool, is it on that? This is a cool, the One hoodie. I have some discount codes and stuff all linked down below. And then the Vertex Henley, which is really my favorite long sleeve shirt. I wear these all of the time. But yeah, all right guys. Until next time, take care.